Have you ever felt like starting over but you don't know how and why? Welcome to New Beginnings with Imani. I'm your host Imani, and this is where every ending becomes a new beginning. It is the introduction episode. So, what is new beginnings? And I want you to ask yourself these two questions. Is new beginnings hard or is it easy? I said today is the introduction of it, and I will define what I mean by new beginnings. This means that the original state has been discovered and revived, and an action of prioritizing that state is being taken. That original state is the purpose you're created for, and now moving in that line of purpose is the journey we are talking about. That is the new beginnings. It doesn't mean that the state wasn't there. It was there, but it was dormant. You just needed to revive it. You just needed to refresh it again and start over again. And this comes in when you come to the realization of yourself, who you are and what you carry and the abilities you have in this life. So how does new beginnings look like? This can be different to many people and to different people. To someone, new beginnings can mean starting over in business sector. To someone else, this can mean starting over in relationship matters. So what does it take for new beginnings? Number one is intentionality. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. So intentionality is the first step. Be intentional. You have to reach to that place where you say, enough is enough. I want to go this way. I don't want to go this way. I want to follow this direction. I don't want to follow this direction. I want to value this. I don't want to value this. This is what I am carrying, and I want to portray it. So you have to reach to that place where you decide, I need to take this direction, and this is what I will do, and this is what I will tolerate and not tolerate. So intentionality is key. Then number two is the strength now, because you can be intentional in your mind and in also your thoughts and in your heart, but now taking that step of now making it happen, that is where challenge comes. It takes strength and it takes courage. You have to be so courageous in that nothing can stop you, because you are assured and you are sure of what you're doing and you are intentional with what you're doing. So you have to be courageous on taking that step. It takes strength to take that bold step of starting afresh. If you are intentional in starting over again, it doesn't matter what you find in the way, you will still trust and you'll still believe that everything is gonna be fine and you'll reach to that destination. What it takes is intentionality, then strength and courage, that bold step that you'll have to take. And then there are many things, but I'll mention a few. So the third thing I will say for now is patience. You need to be patient. You are starting over. You need to grace yourself. You need to give yourself some time and study the journey. You study the journey and see, is it worth it? If it is, then be patient. The next thing, and is the most important one, is faith. Starting over and you're not sure what to do, you don't have the full clarity, you have to trust God. You have to believe that the creator of the universe, the one who created you, the one who gave you that purpose, is able to reveal the things to you on what to expect. Be intentional. Be courageous in taking the step. And thirdly, have patience. The most important one, have faith. I asked you a question in the beginning, that ask yourself, is it easy or is it hard to start again, to start all over again? Is it easy or hard? I want you to answer yourself that question. I know sometimes you can be saying, you might be saying like, what it takes is so simple. Just having faith, having patience, being intentional, and also being courageous. You can have all that, but if you allow some things on the way, you can lose focus. Having that thought of starting afresh or starting anew is very easy, is super easy. But now taking that step, there is something that happens in the middle. Fear that comes in. The fear of tomorrow, fear of yesterday, fear of what people will say, fear of what people will say. It is always there because you might be having some people around your life, around you, and you tell them, I want to do this, I want to start this, I have an idea of doing this, but that person can discourage you. They can be telling you so and so did this, but it didn't work. Are you sure it will work? Who are you? So that instills fear in you. So when you want to start afresh, there are fears that comes in. Discouragements are there from people you know, more so your friends, and also your closest people sometimes. Discouragements are there, which instills fear later on. And because of fear, you start postponing on what you're supposed to do. You start postponing on the step you're supposed to take. And what this does is, it is causing delay. It is causing delay. The more you postpone, the more you are delaying. It is causing delay. There is fear of what will people say. Maybe you are doing some kind of stuffs which are not really good, but you need to revive the self that God created, doing the best things, doing the good things. And your crowd, they will be shocked. Your friends will be shocked. They will be asking, how? Are you sure? Are you sure? And so there is that fear of what will people say? And what are people thinking about this? What you need to do is, don't focus on what people will say. Don't focus on what people are thinking. Focus on what you saw. Focus on what you want. Because if you saw that going that direction is gonna change your life, then follow that direction. Choose not to remain in that bad state because people will speak, because people will say. Even if you move, even if you don't move, do you know those people will still speak? Do you know those people will still talk? So you take the step. Take the step. So long as you're intentional and you know what you want and you know what you've seen and you know the outcomes of that action, take the action. So there is fear of what will people say? What is tomorrow having? Because maybe you've never taken that path. You've never taken that path. So you don't know what to expect on the way. You don't know what to expect on the way. Do you know what? That is where faith comes in. Take the step. When we get there, there is always a way out. Another fear is the fear of losing things. Maybe you are taking another step and it is requiring you to drop some things or to leave some things behind. And you're not willing. You're not willing to lose those things. So there is that fear, because when you have that fear, you will keep on postponing it. You will keep on saying that maybe it's not today, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next month. So there is that fear of losing things. Now, overcoming the fear, you have faith. Instead of fearing, just take one step at a time. Take one step at a time. I want to talk about the growth that comes with new beginnings. New beginnings, as I said earlier, is discovering that original state. It doesn't necessarily mean that that state wasn't there. It was there, but it was dormant. But now you've revived it, and now you are prioritizing that state. So there is something that happens in new beginnings, and this is growth. There is growth that happens in new beginnings. There is transformation. This transformation is both physically, it can be physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, intellectually, and all that. Because I said new beginnings, it can mean different things to different people. To someone, it may mean that you are starting to read books. You will start reading books this time, this season. You will start reading more books. To someone else, it will be, I will start exercising more. To another person, it will be like, I will become emotionally intelligent. To another one, it will be like, I want to be intellect. So it may mean different things to different people. And there is growth that happens in that period. There is a transformation that happens in that journey. As you're taking that step of starting over again, maybe it's starting to read books again. There is something that it does to you. There is a transformation that will happen to you, both intellectually, emotionally, and the knowledge that you'll acquire. To someone who is like, I want to start exercising more, there is a transformation that happens to your body. You will see the changes. And so new beginnings reveals that quality that was hidden. It is not starting, it is not newness in time, but it is newness in quality. So there is a newness in quality. New beginnings improves your quality. It improves your quality. It improves the quality of your deliverables. It improves the quality of your conversations. So that is what new beginnings does to you. New beginnings reveals your hidden capabilities, your hidden abilities that you are having. There are things that you didn't know you were able to do back then, but now because you are intentional about starting over again and discovering who you are and what God says you are, you are coming to that realization of what you carry, what you can do, and what you are able to offer. Let me tell you something. New beginnings doesn't mean that everything will flow. It doesn't mean that things will be super easy. Sometimes everything will be smooth. But in every road, you will find a bump. Or maybe you'll find a corner where you can't really tell what you're going to expect in your next move. But having faith going through that road helps a lot. The bumpy areas, you will reach there. The bump, it may seem like it is like a wall, but it's just a bump. You can go over it. You can go past it. There is always a way out. So what I will say is focus on the end goal. The journey sometimes will be a little bit rough, but there is always hope. Have hope always. Starting over can be so scary, but the moment you take that one step, even if you fall, don't remain in that fallen state. Rise up again, keep going, take the next step. Even if you've gone the next step and then you fall, do you know you've made a step? So you take that step. Even if you fall, rise again, stand up again. Don't remain down there, stand up again. The righteous can fall 7 times, but he will stand again. He will stand again. So you stand up and keep going. Never stop. The rule is you keep moving. Even if you fall, you stand, then you keep moving. You fall, you stand, you keep going. You fall, you stand, you keep going. That is the rule. Yeah. And embrace the rule of never giving up. Never settling for less. And starting where you are. Embrace that. Start where you are. The resources will come. The resources will come. I know, like, for me, I was hesitant of starting this because I was waiting for everything to be perfect, the conditions to be favorable, and all that. And I've been postponing it for quite a while. If you wait for everything to be well, the condition to be favorable, you will not get anything done. You will not get anything done. Let me tell you, start with the resources that are available. Start with those resources. If you wait to start big, if you wait to start so huge, sometimes it cannot be the case. So start where you are. Start with what you have. I always ask myself, what do I have? And what can I do with what I have? Because there is something that I can do with what I have right now as I'm waiting for what I'm expecting to have. And so that is the bold step that I took. Because right now I was like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, I want this to be perfect, I want this and this before I start this. But then when you have clarity and when you have that assurance that you need to start over again and you are intentional about it, nothing can stop you. Nothing will ever stop you, be it the resources, because as you move, the resources will come towards you. As you move, that money that you're looking for, it will find its way to you. So you start the journey, you start moving, start it. Everything will flow. And that is the faith that we have. Because sometimes you might not be having everything, but that little that you have, it can be many. It can be so much. That little thing that you have, it can be so much. So start where you are. And remember, new beginnings doesn't mean that everything is figured out. It means taking that bold step and keep moving. See you in my next episode. Bye.